I don't want people to come to me because I have my face tattooed. Like that's my foot in the
Yeah.
door, but I don't like I don't know if you've ever seen any of my marketing, but I don't ever give the value prop in my marketing. And I unbuckle the mask and I spit out a ball gag. And I was like, can you believe how stuck up people are?
All right. Welcome to a new episode of Real Estate First Technology, like legit new episode. We're doing things a bit different today. And today we're actually going to be doing a studio podcast in person with a special guest. And before we go ahead and intro him, I want to say welcome to the show, Dan. This is interesting, huh? A little different.
This is a different format. I like it.
Yeah, right. Always keep people on their toes. So Dan's going to be on the TV in front of us, so our viewers and listeners won't actually see that. We're going to change the camera angle up here and introduce the person that we have on for the podcast today. And before we do, just want to encourage everyone to like the episode, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And it is our intention for you to take things from an episode, apply to your business, and more massive success. And by the end of the episode, hopefully you can comment below with what you learned. So let's go ahead and change up our camera angle. And we have the one and only Mr. Call Tattoo, Jesse Mercer on the show. Welcome to Real Estate First Tech, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, this is awesome. So our first time ever doing it in person, and so we really appreciate you coming out and doing this with us. And
you were talking about this like a year ago, right?
Dude, a year ago. Yeah, I reached out to Justin a year ago and said, hey, let's get him on the show. Let's make it happen. He's like, yeah, just let me know when you're ready. And then we invited you to be actually a guest for our event. We have West Extra Real Estate on October 5th and 6th. So thanks for being a keynote speaker. And I think this would be a good leeway too, because then we can get your story and behind the scenes about how long you've been in the business, why you got in the business, and give an amazing story that I think will add a lot of value for people out there that are maybe in a job that they don't like and they want to get out and they want to work for themselves. They want to see their own self-worth instead of working for someone else.
Yeah.
So the show is all about you. I'll ask you a couple questions. Dan's going to get into the mix-up round and get into more of like the technology you're using and how you actually market your business for anyone that wants to go maybe down that same path. So let's get into it. So how long have you been in the business? Why did you get in the business? What were you doing before real estate, man?
I've been in 2.5 years, or a little bit over 2.5 years. Before this, I was driving a semi. So
really?
Yeah. So 2.5 years ago, literally, I was at like the worst point in my life. I'd been working at that job for 13 years. Before that, I was a teacher. A lot of people don't know that.
Really?
Before the tattoos, kindergarten through 7th, PE.
I was a teacher for 16 years.
Oh,
wow.
Really? Yeah, and I ran a behavior program. So I was like teaching teachers how to teach kids because I worked in a Title I school, which has a lot of troubled children in it. So people don't understand how to talk to some of these kids. And that was like my specialty. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I was driving a truck for 13 years and 60-hour a week, 70-hour a week, 120 plus degrees a day, like down stacking pallets, wheeling it in, no sleep. It's like embarrassing, but like ruined 2 marriages, ruined my life, ruined my relationship with kids. It's just a ticking time on me. And I would literally like have anxiety attacks driving to work just because I knew the entire day it was like it's 3 a.m. or it's midnight. When towards the end of the career, I started at midnight. I was just like, I know I'm gonna be working for 13 hours. I know it's gonna take me 45 minutes to drive home, and I have to hurry up and eat something. And hurry up to go to bed. Like I played the entire day through my head. And then on my days off or Sunday, the wife's like, oh, let's go do this. And my first thought was like, why are you asking me? I'm tired. Like, I'm tired. I just bust my asshole. And I didn't get from her point of view, it's like, oh, I haven't seen you all week. You've been tired all week. Like, so just it's blinded me to a lot of things and just kind of ruined my life. So like coming into real estate, everyone thought I had a marketing degree and this and that. I was like, I drove a semi for 13 years. Like I knew nothing about real estate, knew nothing about marketing or branding.
So like what was that pinnacle for you? You were like, all right, I'm done. I'm gonna get into real estate. Where was like the sign? How did real estate come up for you?
Well, I've always had an idea to do it. I used to drive a semi, and this is the anti-lawyer now, but it's that he used to call himself the tattooed lawyer, and he had a billboard and had his sleeves off and arm tattoos. And I just looked at him like, man, like I wish I would have done that because I would sit in gas stations like before I would deliver there, and like I see dudes getting out in suit and tie, and I just felt like, damn, like I missed the boat on life. Like this dude's happy. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. He's getting his coffee. Like I've been at work for 7 hours already. Yeah. But I used to like just envision that, and I like live vicariously through everybody else, like wishing. But I always loved real estate. Watched $1 Million Listing, like all those shows were my shit. Wow. I would drive through Camelback just to look at architecture, but I was like, I could never have that job. I was like, I would never be able to do it. And then after seeing him, I was like, you know what? He branded himself the tattooed lawyer. I saw this story where he came from and where he's at now.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just gonna try to do the same thing for real estate. So it was just second divorce. Wife left, had to sell the house.
Wow.
I had halftime with my kids who weren't hers. So I went to their mom, like, I have halftime, but I start work at midnight. I'm by myself now.
Oh my
So
God.
it's like, I can't take them.
Yeah.
So we figured out like just a schedule where I can have them whenever I could have them.
Mhm.
And it's just like, I was literally like in the corner of my room, like crying. Like, I just felt like this was it. Like, it was like, I have nowhere else to go.
Wow.
So I signed up, like from that moment, I signed up real estate school the next day. I said, fuck it. And
Wow.
finished in 2.5 weeks. Like I would literally go to class to work, to class to work. Because I did the long,
Yeah.
I did the short schedule.
Okay.
So I literally finished 90 hours in 2.5 weeks.
Wow.
Got no sleep for 2.5 weeks. I think I total slept for 20 hours, maybe in 2.5
God.
weeks. But it was just like, I hit the ground running.
Wow.
But I didn't have like everyone's like, what if it doesn't work? I'm like, that's not an option. I can't even think about it. Because if it doesn't work, like I'm fucked. Like,
wow.
yeah.
That's amazing. And so then the billboards are what, so I remember, we're both in Arizona for viewers, listeners out there. And I remember getting off, I just moved out here like 2 years ago and we're in Gilbert, Arizona. And I'm getting off the freeway and I look over and I see a billboard and it's Justin. I'm like, who is this guy? Like, it's like colorful, like super bright and vibrant. And, we do marketing for like Liftoff that hosts this podcast. And so I just wanted to like look you up automatically, check out who you are. And because I've never seen it before. And your approach was so unique and different, not just with the billboards, but like the color palettes that you use and how bright and vibrant and the way that you did like the bye like signs and all these different things. So when you saw that lawyer, that was like that key performance indication. You're like, hey, like this is it. I'm going to do the same thing, but put a spin off and do it for real estate.
Yeah. So my first year, like I got licensed in December 2019, but I still had a full-time job. I was working 60 hours a week. So in reality, I wasn't licensed. Like I wasn't working. I had a news story done about me and I had no business. Like, because one of the most famous Arizona realtors, he's been in the top of the game for 47 years, made fun of me on his Facebook page because someone showed him a picture. So this guy's trying to do real estate. Wow. And I had it was a headshot. Like I had a nice suit and tie on, but just because I had face tattoos, they were like bashing me. Like I wasn't able to do the same shit they could do. So I ended up sharing it. And to be honest, like what he put wasn't upsetting. Like it didn't piss me off at all. But what everyone's comments were underneath it, like I feel sorry for his kids. That dude's a fucking loser. Like none of these people know me. Like none of them know me. They're basing all their assumptions on me off of one picture. I'm smiling. I have a nice suit and tie. Like how are you basing all my life decisions and my kids and all this off of one picture? Like how do you do that? I just don't understand. Like as humans, how you guys can look at somebody and just like depict their life and know nothing. Like you never know what someone's going through. Like how do you know I was in the worst spot of my life? Like how do you like bringing someone down? Like what does that do?
Yeah.
But I shared it on my page. It went from 30 comments, and I said, this is the type of stigma I have coming into this field.
Yeah, for sure.
This is what I have to overcome. And it went from like that blew up. I was still working. I didn't have any business. I literally just got my license, and it went from 30 comments to like 700 overnight. And it was shared like hundreds of times, and Fox News was tagged and all this stuff. So the news ended up doing a story about me. Well, they wanted me to like talk about the situation because he's a known name. And I was like, I'm not gonna throw him on the bus. So he called and apologized, and if anything, he gave me attention. So I don't care.
Yeah.
I said, but if you want to do a story about me, we can. So like I had this build up, and I had a job. And finally my team lead at the time was like, took me to lunch. Like, what are you doing? Like you have all this opportunity and all these people behind you, and you're making excuses for yourself. But in reality, I'm sitting there telling people, go chase your dreams. You can do it no matter what. And the whole time I had a safety net. So it's like kind of like, if I truly believed in it, why do I have this safety net that I can't quit? So I ended up quitting my job in February 2020. I had 2 in escrow, put 2 weeks in. Both those fell out then in my 2 weeks. And then in March, COVID hit. So it put me on this, like you're going to fail. Like you have no business, you have no deals. You just quit a full-time job. You got 2 kids.
Oh my God.
Like to support, like, what are you going to do? And so I started really leaning into something I don't think a lot of agents do, is just, I put myself as a consumer. So stop thinking like an agent. I think too many agents think like agents. They don't think like the consumer. And I literally just like, what do I want to see? What do I want to do? Like everything. When I bought a house, I bought and sold 2 houses. So I'm like, what was I looking at? What was I looking for? What was I skipping past?
Yeah.
So I just dove in deep of just being the consumer instead of being an agent.
Wow. That's amazing. I mean, it's awesome how you had all of those things against you but you didn't let that be your demise. You've just fed into it. You're like, this is fire.
Oh,
This is more fuel for my fire. I'm just going to keep moving forward with that process. And congratulations for you going and overcoming those things, and then it turning into a positive. So what happened? Like after, those two went through, COVID hit, like then what was your first transaction? Like when did you actually see success?
So I like in March, I had no deals, and this is March 2020.
Okay.
I was like, what do I need to do? So I was like, when I bought and sold 2 houses, like what was I looking at? Because I see all the agents, what they're doing on their social media. And I was like, it didn't hit me. I don't think you're unique. I don't think it's right.
Yeah.
I don't think people are paying attention to it.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
So I was like, my agent, like, how did I pick my agent? I had 7 agent friends on my Facebook page, and my agent, I didn't know. She was the hottest girl at the gym. Like, that's who I picked. Like, but that's, some people draw to certain things. Like, this girl always wore a shirt and she was pretty. I was like, I'm gonna start a conversation about buying a house.
Yeah.
And I did. I wasn't hitting on her. I never tried that, but it was just like, that's who I approached. So I'm like, how do I become the hot girl at the gym? And I felt I was going to do that from social media because I already had this boost from that news story. So literally I leaned in perception because I had no business. And the biggest thing that people miss is like, it was like, oh, I'm new. Like, quit saying you're new, because I had Russell Shaw, like the biggest name as a mentor. I had a good team. I was at Keller Williams, just the prestigious, like, so I had all the tools to be an experienced agent. So it was just, now I need that perception. So I did an open house at a $3.2 million mansion.
Wow.
And I did a video where I was in a full suit in a hot tub with a glass of wine.
Yeah.
And I pretended it was a Tinder video. So I was like, ladies, you love rich men with beautiful houses? Go ahead and swipe right. And the girl holding the camera was like, no, Justin, this is not your Tinder. It's for your open house. I'm like, oh, shit. So I went into the open house and invited everybody. But like, that video got shared like 400 or 500 times. It had like 15,000 views.
Wow.
Now I had this attention. They came to the open house, and now everyone's hit me up on Instagram and Facebook saying, how did you get a $3.2 million listing? Like, remember, they're not in the business. They don't know. Like, they don't know that what was in my listing.
Yeah,
they just see me
perception.
promoting it. I'm going to be there. That's my house. Bring me a buyer.
Yeah.
So when they hit me up and say, how did you get a listing? I didn't say it's not mine. It's somebody else's. I said, bring me a buyer. You got a buyer. Like, let's make a deal.
Let's go.
Because in reality, it's like, so next week, an $800,000 house. Next week, a $900,000 house. Inviting people to these open houses, doing stupid videos on my story in the open house. But everyone's perception is like, shit, Justin's like on a roll now. They did a news story about him. He's got mansions. Like, this motherfucker's the real deal. It's just perception. This is how they viewed it. Am I knowledgeable? Absolutely. I spent my first year going to every single class, and I don't want people to come to me because I have my face tattooed. Like, that's my foot in the door. But I don't like, I don't know if you've ever seen any of my marketing, but I don't ever give a value prop on my marketing. It's just the foot in the door. And then I want to have that conversation face to face so you can see my personality and my welcomeness. And that's when I'm going to give you my value prop. So everything else was just a drawback. But April ended up closing like 1.8 million. And my goal for my whole first year, so at the end of 2021, I know the average agent does 2 to 3 houses a year. Yep. So I was like, I'm not average. I'm above average. I'm gonna do 5. So I was like, that was my goal, 5 houses. I ended up closing 22 my first year.
Wow.
And then 2021 is when I dug into marketing more, because I had that perception. I tell people, like, you can have 1 billboard and sell 1 house a year, and you have this perception that you're the real deal just from
billboards.
The way you market yourself is, people misjudge like street cred, like social cred. Yeah. So like, I go a lot off the perception of social cred, try to do the business too when I first started. Yeah. Because now I don't need to.
Yeah. Wow. That's an amazing story. I think the whole thought process of the perception, right? People think that and we actually had another guest who's going to be one of our keynote speakers for West National Real Estate too. With Dan and I, we were interviewing Caroline Choi, and similar story. She, wanted to be a luxury agent, and she, didn't have any luxury listings, and it was a perception. She had a producer Michael, who might be, we'll see, not say too much, but maybe a special guest, hit her up and said, hey, do you have any $1 million homes, like $100 million homes we can do walkthrough tours in Beverly Hills? And she said, no. And then she said, I'll do it. I'll find it. She's actually on this week's guest. And so this podcast is going to be probably a month or 2 down the line. So anyone watching now, you can go back and check out Caroline's episode. But it's amazing how, it's a testament to just saying, hey, there's an opportunity here. I don't need to represent the seller. I can just represent the buyer. Mm-hmm. And so I could just go and do fun videos and just go into this home and show this perception and perceived value. And then people don't know the difference, because people don't even go that deep. They don't really they don't pull back the curtains and ask questions. They're just like, oh, this is his listing.
Not just that, like, when you're I see agents all the time. They're posting constantly market updates, this and that, and Crumford report, market updates and stats and sheets. I'm like, no one's paying attention to that.
Yeah.
And I'm saying no one's paying attention to that, not because I know all your clientele, it's because I bought and sold to house. So I'm thinking as a consumer, like,
Yeah.
I got so used to skipping by people because it was the same shit over and over again. I trained my brain and say it's the same thing. I skip it. Even if they're a friend, it's just like, I know it's going to be, oh, just sold, just listed.
Yeah.
And it wasn't interesting to me. I just, even when I was buying a home, I'm a consumer, they're the professional. I assume they know what they're doing. So why do I need to look at the research? Like, I just asked my agent. So in my mind, based on how I felt, I've never ever posted a market update. I never tell sellers, I can do this for you. I can do this for you. I'm going to get my foot in the door. I'm going to blast my name out. So any video I do, I go for two things. I go for a share button. So I have to make you laugh or something that makes you want to share it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go for, you're going to know in some sort of way I am in real estate.
Wow. Okay.
So like the second video I did, everyone said it was so stupid. Like, they were like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? I got bashed. Someone reported me NAR. I'm just like, but that same video got me 5 deals. Like this one video was responsible for 5 deals. And I'll tell you, like, I was in a like pink mesh net stripper shirt, and I had an S&M, or the video started off with an email. So I knew my perception of how people view me. So the email said, hey, Justin, just want to say thank you. Me and my wife know you're a very knowledgeable dude, but we feel your look is too much for us. We're going to choose a different agent. So it started off with just the email. So I knew it was going to fire everyone up, like all my fans and all the people following me, like, wow, why would he email that? And then you go to the video, it turns to me. I'm in like a stripper net shirt, and I have an S&M mask on. I have handcuffs on, and I unbuckle the mask and I spit out a ball gag. And I was like, can you believe how stuck up people are? And I like go back to the email. So like the look they were talking about was what I had on, but everyone assumed it was the tattoos. But that video got shared. That was viewed like 25, 30,000 times.
Wow.
But like I said, I'm going for the share button. So I had 5,000 Facebook friends because it was maxed out. But it's like, those 5,000, I just assume if I keep getting in front of them, they're always going to use me. They may not, but I'm just have that assumption. So all I want to do is get them to share my stuff. So now I have 400 people on my Facebook sharing my video to go to their people. And someone that same night, someone hit me up and I did a buy sell for her. And my closing gift to my clients is always to get tattooed. Like, I don't give them a wine bottle or stuff. I get them tattooed. And then I was like, yeah, refer anyone you want to me. I'll get you more tattoos. She referred 3 people to me that year. So like that one video is responsible for 5 deals.
Wow.
The video that everyone says is stupid and it said this. And to me, I'm like, your market update's stupid. Like, no one's looking at it.
Yeah.
No one's looking at the median price range in Queen Creek and saying, oh my gosh, this guy knows what he's talking about music. Like, in just my opinion.
Wow. That's so cool that like you're changing it up, giving them a tattoo, which it's like basically in their mind, they're never going to forget you for the rest of their life because they have a tattoo from you because of the fact that they use your services.
Let's say I got you that one on your forearm and someone's like, oh, that's cool. Where'd you get that? Your first thought's like, dude, my real estate agent got it for me. And then now we're starting a conversation when you're not even around. And that's the key to marketing is if you can get people talking about you when you're not around, like you won in marketing.
Wow.
And that's what I do with like the bus and the limo and stuff when I park it on streets and drive. It's just for people to, oh shit, there's a school bus with this rapping. I've seen this guy on Instagram. I've seen the guy. So now they're like talking about you, like good or bad, they're talking about you.
So that's for viewers and listeners out there. One of the inspirations behind Liftoff Agent Truck that sponsors and hosts Real Estate First Tech is Justin. So I saw his limousine and saw his stuff around. And I was just like, oh my God, it's a really good idea. And then I put the QR codes on it. They scan it and they go to the website. And there's a video of me saying, hey, Norman, my wife and I just moved out here, CEO, co-founder, whatever. But it's a really good idea. And I love that. I remember you and I were going back and forth. And then I dropped the truck off over at your office. And dropping your truck off and saw your limo behind the office or whatnot. So that's a super smart idea.
Well, like the limo specifically, I was like, what's a car that everyone stares at? Like, no, it doesn't matter who you are or how old it is. If you see a limo, I always look at them. I'm like, there's something, maybe it's from childhood where it's just this famous celebrity. But everyone looks at limos. So I was like, I'm going to buy a limo and wrap it. So I started dropping my kids off to school because I always think like, how do I get somebody? So I got t-shirts made for my kids. Drop them off at school in a limo. Now all these kids are like rushing to the fence because they see a limo and see it wrapped. Like, oh my God, your dad's a tattooed realtor. They don't know what a tattooed realtor is. They see it on the car with my cartoon. And they're like, now my kid's entire school thinks we're millionaires. Like they come up, my kids are like celebrities in their school. They're like, oh, your dad has a limo and a school bus. Now they're going home talking about it. Their friends asking for t-shirts. I give them friends free t-shirts.
Yeah.
So I got a bunch of kids in my kids' school. Like literally, I pulled up one day and I saw 2 kids wearing a t-shirt.
Wow.
And then my kids wear my shirts, and it's just because they're fun. They have a cartoon. It says the back said "Future House Slinger," or the new ones say "Sell houses, not dope."
I love that.
Like stuff like that. It's
I
just
love that.
the teachers know who I am. Their parents know who I am. Perception wise, oh, they're millionaires. That they're so famous. They're so this because I dropped them off in a limo.
Yes.
In reality, your mom's Camry costs more than the limo. Like it's an older one.
Yeah.
But it's just like I knew the perception was going to be big on that.
Dude, that's huge. Absolutely love that. So kind of switching up a little bit, switching gears, so we get Danny here as well to talk a little bit more about like what you're doing, because I know you're growing your team. So you have the team coming up. You're doing some things with like behind the scenes with the team and the mechanics of like how you run the team, the mechanics behind the marketing that you're doing. So Dan likes to get a little more into the tech side of things. So we'll go ahead and switch up for the mix-up round, and Danny, go ahead and take away for the mix-up round.
Thanks, Norman. So Justin, that was a great story. We'll have to say that most people don't have the balls or tenacity to do what you've been doing, and you mix a little publicity in there, and that's what gives you the snowball trajectory. But I think my biggest question, I think, is moving forward is like, where do you take it from here in terms of marketing and technology and scalability? Because like everyone knows you, but as you build your team and you have other agents, are you hiring agents with tattoos, or like what's the strategy?
So I didn't want to start a team. I didn't think I think it's irresponsible because I think a lot of new people like start teams too fast. And I think in reality, like we got to keep that same mindset where 80% of the business failed out. So like I had 2 agents that were on my team before I went solo approach me and they're like, start a team. I'm like, no, I'm not ready for that. Like I need to be ready personally before I'd be ready to be responsible for somebody else. And I'm still learning the business. I have my mind in different things, but they were going to leave the brokerage unless I started a team. I saw value in them. I was like, you know what? Here's what I can offer as a team. Like I can teach you guys this, this, and this. And I do half business now. It's half wholesale and flipping and half retail. So I was like, I could teach you both sides of the business. I could teach you how to different avenues of income. I'm going to go to school to be a broker. Like I feel I'm very knowledgeable because I take every single class and I have 2 of the best mentors. So like, I know I can be that mentor for them as well, but I just kind of told them, here's what I can provide you. And it grew from there. And like 2 other girls at my brokerage that were friends, like decided to join. So now I have this like 4 girls on the team. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to lean into this thing. Like selling Sunset was a huge thing. And I'm just like, I was like, you know what? Like with my look and my dominating, like scary look. And if I have like 5 beautiful women on my team, like, it's just like, I thought it was a cool dynamic. Like I wasn't going just, oh, I'm going to run women. Like any of my marketing you see, my team is now the women. So Call Tattoo Real Estate Group, they're the brand. Like I'm the face and the brand. They're the team. So everything I push them. The billboard has them, and I didn't want to be on the billboard with them, like standing in the middle of a group of girls. I think that would turn people off.
Yeah.
So I kind of put my logo on the bottom side of it. So you know it's my team, but now I'm more branded around the team. So
That's awesome. And where do you where do you focus in the Arizona market? Like, do you have specific farm areas that you're really concentrating in, or is it across the city? Like, where's your marketing divided?
My marketing is everywhere. I have 12 billboards all around the valley. So a lot of them are on freeways, but I've sold 5 houses in Prescott Valley. Like, so wow. I was a listing agent. So I was like, I knew it's a different MLS, but if I put a contractor lockbox on there, I don't have to worry about people not being able to get in. And I just go up there one day, list it, take pictures, do all that, come back down, sells. But I'll literally go anywhere for business. Like if there's a deal in Tucson, I'm going to buy it. Like, so we kind of hit everything. But like, as far as like pushing like areas and stuff, like I did all this stuff by myself in 2 years. So all my branding, all my marketing, like I scaled to, I think, a known name in the valley, but now I have a team of 9 people. So now I got 9 people pushing out what I was doing by myself. So I just felt like it's going to spread everywhere.
Love it. It's glitching a little bit, a little slow.
Sorry, I think we're having some Zoom issues. A little choppy.
I can hear you, but yeah. You just cut it up.
Yeah, we'll cut it up when we back. No worries. So with this, Dan.
Yeah, I'm still with you. For some reason, and your side's getting a little choppy from time to time. I don't know if it's your bandwidth or whatever, because it's like super clear and I can see myself, so it's not doing it to me.
Yeah.
But this is the first time, everybody, so that's why we're working these kinks out. I think the last question I really have is, as you evolve here, and as you build this brand and more people use you, it's like, what technology do you want to start to test or adapt or build into the business as you become more scalable and expand?
So I'm not a tech savvy guy. I'm not a tech guy. So, but I also know like what I was doing, it wasn't optimizing what I could have been doing. So I'm spending money, I'm getting the attention, which is the hardest thing, is getting the attention. But now that I have it, I don't have a system behind what I'm doing. Like I still don't have a CRM. Like I don't use a CRM. Like I'm not the traditional agent. Like I'm not a caller. I don't door knock. I don't prospect. I don't use a CRM. Like my whole goal in this was like Walmart versus Amazon type business. Like I want to do so much that the business comes to me, so I don't have to constantly search out the business. So I want as much business as fast as it can to come to me. But now I have to learn how to keep these people, because the referrals are what keep you in the business. That's kind of why Norman reached out to me a couple of times about website. To me, I was like, I don't give a fuck about website. I don't care about website.
He didn't.
To me, it's just not been my thing. Like my thing was social media. That was getting me all my business. Like with social media, I can count out of my first 2 years in the business, I did about $30 million worth of business. And I can equate probably 17, 18 million of that to being strictly from social media. So that's all I really cared about. But like I had commercials, like one of my commercials played during Monday Night Football, and I had an uptake in my website of 700%. Like it was crazy amount of people went to my website. And if you ever went to my website, it was garbage. Like it was just a landing. And then I joined Boomtown, and their website to me is just like, it was garbage. And Norman reached out to me because I was like, I do need a website, but let me just try the CRM one first to see if it works. Because I got a team now, and they need a CRM. They have a website, and it just didn't do what I thought it should do. So then finally I was like, you know what? Like if I have all the billboards and commercials and this stuff directing people on my website, like I need to have a dope ass website. So I swallowed my pride and said I was wrong, Norman, for a year and a half. Like, let's get this website going.
It's all in the follow-up, everyone out there, viewers and listeners. And I appreciate that, man. Appreciate it.
I mean, you bring up a big concept that I'm not to toot our own horn, but people in their due diligence period, like a lot of people don't think of the impact that a website has. But I was just at a listing appointment, and somebody was like, hey, like before we met, like I actually checked out your website, and you got a lot of good information on there, and it's resourceful, it's cool, it's vibrant, has good marketing and color. And like ultimately I'm making sure that the person I'm talking to, like I am coming to the meeting, they're coming to the meeting with already having an impression. They've watched a few of my videos, they're doing their homework. And I think so many agents undervalue that, right? They'll sign up for a CRM. They think it's just IDX buyer search capture that they need, or sellers, what's my home worth? But it's actually the branding, the personality, the color schemes, the marketing, all of that put together, that your online visibility and your review capture and all of that, it's that whole ecosystem. There's so many people that, like, if you don't have a good website, they're just like next agent. And we've noticed that by testing and seeing it happen. We've had people leave our company and then call us back in 6 months and say, all right, can you turn that website back on?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you bring up a good point there. We're glad to have you on.
No, yeah, but I was just like, I'm all about legitimacy too. So I spent a lot of time just looking legit and looking the part. But if you go to my website, it was so childish, and like, this is what I'm directing everyone to, is this. So in reality, like I thought I was directing everyone to my Instagram. I feel social media, I view it differently too, but I wanted to look legit and uniform on all my stuff. So like the car matches the shirts, matches the website, matches the website. Like, it's just a constant. There's a hair dryer in Walmart, and it has pink, blue, and green splatters all over it. I swear to you, dude, I've gotten sent that hair dryer literally 500 times because people just assimilate the color with me. So like anytime they see a pink and black or green and black and pink, like any of those colors together, they always take a picture and send it to me. There's a new cookie company in California and their boxes are pink, black, and paint splatters, and everyone send me their boxes like, oh, you should team up with these people. So it's just like that, the constant uniform colors is like, it also is like key, like
Dope.
Power of branding.
yeah, it's front of mind. So just little things like a hair dryer can put you front of mind all over again.
Yeah.
No, I love it. Well, back to Norm.
Wow. Well, thanks for taking on that mix up round. And just to kind of unpack a little bit, that's awesome how everything unraveled. It was, you completely changed the status quo in the fact of like, you know, back in the day, you think of a guy and a bunch of girls, he's pimping them out and this and that. And it was just like, it happened the way that it happened, like how you approach the female at the gym and just start her business and not to hit on her or anything. And so I think that's very humbling that it happened the way that it happened. And it also is very fitting to the brand. And I think everyone's just like, look at this guy, and it just adds so much more validity. We had a guy, his name's Gabe Mendez, that potentially might be a special guest for West Extra Real Estate. And I want to connect you two together. I think that you two, but he has an all-female team as well. And I don't know if you've seen, if you haven't, follow Justin below. He hired the Island Boys to do a song, and so did Gabe Mendez.
Did he really?
He did. And I'm just like, what? You two are like two peas in the pod. You don't even know each other. He's over in Los Angeles. So I think for viewers and listeners out there, you know, just to kind of just go with the flow, go with your gut. I love how you said, just like reach out to the share button. The share button should be your focus, which I think is kind of reversing the psychology, even the way that I think about it. Cause I'll post and I'm thinking like maybe like views, or I'm thinking maybe comments, and then just share button. You're going to get views. You're going to get comments. I love that. So I have a few questions before we end the show. At the end of the show, we like to end it on you. So anything you want to leave for our viewers and listeners to take from our episode to apply to their business. So I saw your stories and it looked like you have some stuff in the works. So I saw a potential office. I saw like you have a concept of maybe like having a tattoo parlor / like hair salon, probably because of all the females that you're going to have on your team. And, you know, of course, traditional real estate office. So what's your thoughts? You want to do a show now? Can we get some like behind the scenes? Like what's next?
Well, over the span of 2.5 years, I've been approached by 3 different producers. We had a really good shot with A&E. The concept wasn't there of what they wanted. So they were looking for something certain, but they liked me and what I brought. And I had my other 2 guys on my team. They were part of it too, but they liked us together. And they greenlit us like a major company, but not the concept, which sucked. Like, in my opinion, wasn't for us anyway. So I'm like, but that was an opportunity that fell through. Another one fell through. And then I had a flipper flop producer reach out to me. So there's been talks, but I'm just like, at the end of the day, like I'm going after it. So like, if let's say best case scenario, someone saw value in the tattoos and me and the team and flipping and retail, like all together, because there's flipping shows, there's retail shows, there's tattoo shows, like we're all in one. Yeah. So I'm like, next level. Like, what if that opportunity came? Do I want them to come to my Keller Williams office and see my little office? Like, can you see a camera crew being in that office? No. But my dream from the beginning of real estate was like, one day I want to open my own like boutique brokerage. And I don't want it to be a traditional real estate office. Like, if we're going to have our office, but we're also going to have a tattoo artist there. We're going to have a hairdresser there, a barber there, an esthetician there, not for the traffic. It's just like for the vibe. Like, who the hell has a tattoo artist in a real estate office? Like nobody, but they're all professional businesses. And a lot of people, when I first started school, she's like, do you think it's smart to go after the tattoo community? Like, do they have money? Like, she just doesn't know the business. Like, my tattoo artist makes $300,000 a year. It's probably mostly cash. And I know a ton of artists that make like ridiculous amounts of money. Like, it's professional business. There's the bad apples. There's the bad apples in government. There's the bad apples in teaching. There's bad apples everywhere. Like, you look at news stories every day and hope that person can do this. Like, so I'm like, it's no different. Like, they have, there's bad shops. There's bad people. There's drug addicts. But like, you think I'm going to hire a drug addict tattoo artist to be in my shop? Like, I'm smarter than that, dude. Like, so like, I want the, like, if you go to a camera, like if a camera came to my office, like, dude, this office is dope. You got a tattoo artist in the office. They got a barber in the office. They got a hairdresser. They're all going to be appointment only, because it's not going to be like a walk-in area. But I just thought that vibe would be something that's never, ever been seen in real estate. Like, no one's ever came into real estate with their head and face tattooed. I did that. No one's ever came in and open an office that has a tattoo and barber and stuff like in it. And like, I want to just be that, just that changing, like you said, the status quo. Like,
Dude,
this dude came in, he thought he was going to fail. Everyone thought he was going to fail. He thought he was going to fail. And now he's just fucking living his life. Like, just, he works full time. I do. But I don't work full time. Like, I never wake up and say, I got to go to work. I never go to bed like tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Like, there's definitely stresses, but it's just like, I pinch myself sometimes. I'm like, this is my fucking life. Like, this is my job. Like, I feel guilty. So this is a hobby now, dude. It's like, and who would you want to use someone that thinks of this as a job and 8 to 5 and gets like, I don't work weekends, I'm tired. Or you want someone that's like, dude, this is not a job. This is passion. Like, that's who I want to work with.
I love that. Dude, that's awesome, man. I can already see The Office, and it sounds like the story you already said. Like, you know, you can follow the status quo and you can do what every other agent's doing out there. And if anyone's watching right now and if it works for you doing the traditional stuff, keep doing it. If you're someone out there that wants to do something untraditional, I love that approach. And it sounds like you're pretty much going to probably eventually have your own media company, maybe have your own media company, have your own people doing your edits, doing your own video work, because it sounds like you already have the clout enough that you really don't need to have to hire an A&E or whatever else. Because a lot of those big outfits are like, look at YouTube. Like, there's shows on YouTube that are getting, I mean, Mr. Beast is getting millions of views and crushing it. And I can see y'all having a YouTube channel and just having a show starting there and then having millions of views and then proof of concept's done. And then before you know it, you're going to have someone say, hey, I'll do exactly what you're already doing, but I want you on my network.
I should show you my phone. I just got a text this morning from my director of operations who made a flyer for me because I'm hiring a full-time videographer. Like, I want someone that's going to be in the office 9 to 5, 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
You're getting content, you're cutting it up. Like, you're in the office, it's your job. It's going to be fun. But when I'm at a listing appointment or when I'm buying home a cash or we're walking through the flips, like, you're following us, you're following the girls in their appointments. And we're going to cut it up and just be all over social media. Because I look at these companies like 72 Soul, Open Door, Zillow, they're spending, 72 Soul alone spends $2 million a month on marketing.
Yeah.
So it's like, I told the girls, I said, we can't compete with these people. Like, I'm trying to, as far as becoming a name, but we're getting there by not spending the money. I said, the billboards do help, the commercials help, the cars and the social media cred from shares I've gotten over 2 years helps. I said, but we can't ever compete with these people. Like, we're not even going to try, but where we can kill them is social media. Like, none of those people will ever outmarket me on social media. They can't. Like, no one's going to follow Zillow real estate page and like, oh my God, what did Zillow post today? Like, no one does that. But if you're like the tattooed realtor and this and like, I'm doing funny things, that's something people will attempt, like, have the chance of following. And like, this person, this team, they follow. They're not going to follow 72 Soul's business page. No. So what I told them is like, we need to absolutely murder everybody on social media. Like, be out there, be consistent, be top of mind, like, be interesting. Do not post this certain stuff. Like, we want people to come to our page and push our brand out.
Wow. That, you heard it first on Real Estate First Technology. When you see this man internationally, you never know, who knows, man, you'll see it. And the coolest thing is that I have to say is that, like, you were so far, you know, and no one can, I don't know if you can feel this, but when you first came in, kind of felt the nerves, and like, I'm nervous too, because it's our first time doing it in person. And Dan's like, hey, we got some technical difficulties here. We're going to keep it moving. And you don't have an ego. There is no ego. There is no look at me. There is no like, I'm the shit, nothing. It's like, you know, you look at you, you're like, dude, that tattoo on your knee is dope, bro. That watch, I'm admiring it. But you're not like, oh, I have a cool watch, or oh, look at me, I have this, I have that. I love that.
I'm a very pessimistic person. Like, drives my team crazy because I'm like, I apologize to them and say, sorry guys, I'm getting things. I'm like, what do you like? Why do you keep apologizing? You're like doing it, but I'm always just like, I'm a very humble guy. Like, I don't think I'm good enough. I spent 13 years telling myself I'm not good enough. So if anything, I'm trying to get over that hump. Like, I need that cocky attitude. I just can't have it. I just need that. Like, I'm here, I'm doing this. Because in reality, like, people report my billboard for something stupid. And I told my broker, and I just like went off because we were talking about it, and I got a formal complaint. We had to fight it. And I just got pissed. And I like slammed my book down. I'm like, fucking tired of this, dude. I'm like, if anything, I'm helping these people more than anyone else. Like, when I buy your home cash, I'm not a dirty wholesaler who's going to come in there and lie to you about the value of your home and give you a 50-cent number. Like, I'm going in there saying, oh shit, this person has kids. Like, how do I make it work for them and me? How do I get a fair price? Like, do I want to make a 30K rip off a wholesale? Sure. But these people are in a bad fucking position. Like, how do I position myself where we can make a little bit of money, like 5K? And like, so it's like, if anything, I told my broker, like, these people are complaining about me, but I'm doing fucking people a service. Like, Like,
But
I want them to come to me, because if they go to somebody else, they're gonna get fucking ripped off.
Yeah.
And it just like pissed me off.
Because they look at you and they have this preconceived notion, just like you said, like, oh, the perception of the limo and we're rich, when we're getting there, right? And they say like, well, if you're rich, you'll be rich in multiple ways, and then you have to just like think and feel there, you're already there, and then it'll catch up to you in the physical. But I feel the same way. For say Liftoff, like there's so many companies that screw over agents, and agents are always getting solicited for business, and it's just like enough is enough. Like, who is setting a standard in this industry that can help someone like Mr. Tattoo Realtor here, call Tattoo Justin, and be able to say, hey, I see what you're doing. Like, there's missed opportunity. And that's why I kept on reaching out to you about the website things. I thought there's a bigger opportunity that potentially could just help you. You have the large net here. Let's catch as much fish as we can on every single forefront, whether it's digital, physical, or whatever. And so that's why I think we gravitated to each other, because they say with your vibe creates your trap. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I love it. I love it. This is awesome. I think the last question for me is now that you have time, before we open the floor up to you, now that you have time, you're not working all these crazy hours, you could do you. What do you for fun? What's fun for you?
Real estate.
Just living life and do what you're doing every day?
Yeah, it's a hobby. Like, I used to act. I want to get back into acting.
Okay.
You saw my story, but did a lot of music videos and TV shows.
I saw that.
Like, that was my first dream career that I let go because of my job. I was going back and forth. Like, let's say I had Thursday off. Like, I drove to LA Wednesday night. I acted for 6 hours, 7 hours, drove 6 hours back, and went straight to work. Like, that was my grind, and that was my hustle, but I loved it. And like, I had to leave the dream because I'm like, I can't keep doing this. It's killing my body. I have no time with my kids. So like, when people make fun of me in real estate, it's like that. I lost one dream. Like, I'm not losing this dream. Like, that's why I'm working so hard. That's why I'm doing this.
You're gonna get back. It sounds like at the end of the day, now you're gonna be able to, serve a community and serve your team and everyone that's gonna be involved with the media side and what have you, and also be able to do the acting as well. I can see it all coming back for you. Yeah, I can see it all coming back for you. Wow, this has been phenomenal, and we're gonna have to get you back on the show. And I can even see like more of a long form as we grow the in-person podcast studio and these opportunities. I can see you coming back on. We'd love to have you back on and hear, from what happened from today, into 3-4 years down the line where you're at. But I would love to change it up and put the focus on you right now. And if someone's out there and they're listening right now and they have a job that they hate and they're giving themselves all this self-limiting beliefs that they can't do it, but they can, and now you are a testament to that. What do you want our viewers and listeners to take from our show that can apply to the business and have more success?
Well, I did 2.5 years, like literally 2.5 years ago, I was at the worst point in my life. And look where I'm at now in my eyes. So the only person that was holding me back this entire time was me. It was nobody else telling me you're not allowed to. It wasn't the real estate board saying you're not allowed to do this. You're not like, it was just me holding myself back. And I think too many people hold themselves back. But like in real estate, like if this is your dream and you just want to do it, or you're just not in the point of career where you want to be, like just look at yourself and like, am I doing everything I need to do? Because literally real estate is one of the only careers where you have so much opportunity no matter who you are. Like, it doesn't matter the color of your skin, your religion, doesn't matter if you have face tattoos, if you're a single mom with 4 kids, like, or you were a wife for 10 years and your husband left you and you felt you're not good enough forever. Like, how do I do? Like, everyone has an opportunity. Like, if you got the grind and you got the heart, like, you have an opportunity to make 500, 600 grand a year. Like, no one can stop you but yourself. Like, that's what's so great about real estate. It doesn't matter if you dropped out of high school. It doesn't matter like who you are. Like, your work ethic and character will do the speaking for you, or will show who you are. And then the success will do the talking. Like, you can argue with me and hate me or not use me, but I'm like, success, like, it's proven. Like, don't tell me I can't do it. So like, there's too many people telling themselves they can't do it. In reality, like, everyone has an opportunity in real estate.
Wow, man. This was absolutely phenomenal. Justin, thank you so much for your time today and being on the show. I think that it was just amazing to be able to have this opportunity. And we're gonna have to get you back on, though.
No.
Gonna have to get you back on. Dan, as always.
Great to meet you, Justin, man. I really appreciate you coming on here and sharing some light. It gives some, I just wanted to say this real quick. It gives the light to a lot of people who don't think they're the right fit, or, are going to just be the average real estate agent. I think that's what this industry needs. So kudos to you, man.
Thank you.
Amen to that. And changing the angle Thanks to all our viewers and listeners, as it is our intention to have you take things that you learn from our episodes, apply your business, have more massive success. Very grateful to have Justin on the show and have his time today so we can really deep dive into his story behind the scenes, from the glitz and the glam, and his $1 million brand, I will have to say, building it to $1 billion brand. It's freaking awesome. I'm gonna go check out his trucks out front wrapped. He has a Durango out front right now. And so hope you took something that you can apply to your business. Comment below with what you learned. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we will see you on the next one.
Thank you for watching Real Estate vs. Technology, this week's brand new episode, and making it to the end, your real one. If you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified for new episodes that come out every single week on Fridays at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. Also, if you comment on this episode and you like the episode, you'll help this episode get out to more individuals. And if you want to join our Facebook group page, just click a link. It's a Facebook icon on our profile page here on our YouTube channel. Join our group page, network with individuals all across the world, and share what technology you're using to grow your business. The next link is to join our Real Estate vs. Technology brand new IG or Instagram page. If you go on any of our stories, you can see who's going to be on Real Estate vs. Technology before it actually goes live on our YouTube channel. And the last link would be if you want to be on an episode of Real Estate vs. Technology. You pick a date and a time. We'll deep dive into your story and technology you're using to share that with other individuals that view our episodes weekly to inspire, enlighten, show up, and show out for people that love to watch these type of podcasts to have more success in their own business. Thank you so much for your continued support. We appreciate it. We will see you on the next one.